Hey everybody, it's Lost Poet here. This is going to be my Numa farming video. So what is Numa? Numa is just an additional, a part of a new expansion that allows people to get a little bit of extra stats on top of the cards that they're getting. So as you can see here, I have a Destroyer card, and it's giving me these stats. But I'm also getting these stats over here, which are called Numa stats. One good thing that most people might not know is that you can still get Pneuma stats without actually having a card. And you can actually put cards from different slots into those other slots, and they fill in. Like here I have a Soul Prime card in a Life Prime slot, which I'm getting the 33 Spirit from, but that's only temporarily until I get a Life Prime card to set into this slot. But if you go over here, I'm getting actually just one less, 32, because it is a Soul Prime. As you can see here, it is red. But either way, what is Pneuma? Pneuma buffs the stats for each of these tiers. So if I go through here, I have a 0 on durability, 400 out of 450. That's the experience I currently have. That's the experience I need to level up. And then these are the stats I currently have. And then if you mouse over them, these are the stats I'll get once I level it up. So hopefully if I do good this run, I'll be lucky to get a durability, level this up to tier 1, and it'll be good to go. Main thing is you get to do Pneuma 20 times a week. It's a weekly reset, so you can absorb up to 20 Pneuma a week. Not 20 of each boss's Pneumas, but 20 total. So just keep that in mind. I like to do it on certain days. There's two things I would recommend. One is Quingsy, which is this tutorial is all about. And that's the one I'm doing right now. It's in the Hall of Deception. It's a BH29 skill boss. BH or FB29 boss. The reason to do this one is the path is really short to get to the boss. It's really easy to get to him. The mobs are easy. Anyone who's really working on this stuff should be probably in the higher levels. I would say at least 30, 40. Just so you can do the Pneumas, and it's really easy for anybody. I think anywhere like above level 40, as long as you have level 40-ish gears, Dream Chaser pack gears or anything, to solo BH29. Another one I would recommend is Zemo. Once you get your the tiers of your Pneuma from, I would say, starting around level 2 or 2 to 3. Once you're closer to most of them to being 3, I would highly recommend doing the Zemo one. Why? Because it's a relatively short path, and there's no mob count you need to kill. So you go into BH59, you kill the gatekeeper, that'll spawn the boss, and then if you're Sin, you can stealth. Otherwise, you can just run through, pull the mobs, kill them. Also, this would be recommended. And if you're not a high enough level to do that, just go ahead and do Quingsies. Relatively easy. These bosses actually reset every day, so I tend to wait until there's a Quingsy. If there's not, and it's like Friday, because they reset Friday night going into Saturday, I'll either do this one, Ren Razor Jaw, or whichever this first one is, because those are BH19s, and because I am tier 1 to tier 0 to tier 2, these Pneumas will not get nerfed when putting them on, unless I'm tier 0 and I get a tier 2. If you get a higher level Pneuma, you might get like a couple more experience. I think it's like 2 to 4 more experience, but it's going to get nerfed essentially, so it won't be as effective as just doing these ones, or actually it'll be just essentially as effective as doing the easier ones, but you might as well do the easier ones because the paths are usually shorter, bosses and mobs are easier to kill, etc, etc, etc. Aside from that, if you guys have any questions on how this new thing works, feel free to comment. I'll respond as soon as I can. But I'll just show you kind of how this thing works. Couple things to keep in mind is you generally, unless you're Sin, you can stealth all this, especially in Quingsy, relatively really easy. I'm just gonna kill the groups of mobs just because it makes it easier. If you're a psychic and you have decent gear high level, you can just put on White Voodoo and Soul of Vengeance and just run through all these mobs. And with your White Voodoo and your higher level and gear, they'll just essentially kill themselves. So I'm just gonna go here quickly. As you can see, they're all one-shots. I am rank 9 third cast weapon, but my armor, actually I just finished my wizard's recast rank 9, so he is recast rank 9, or he's the first set of recast. I still have to get the badges to third cast him out. But you just go in here, kill all these mobs, I'm just gonna pop a holy path really quick just to make life easy. Pull them. You know, I gotta kill the tower. Just gonna get them over here. Drop myself a nice quick hailstorm. Everything's dead. Real quick and painless, as you can see. Use your AoEs, group them together. It just makes, you know, doing this so much faster. Distance shrink is great. Pop this. You don't have to actually kill them by group. You can pull them together. The issue in BH29 though is that these Warflame Karens, they don't move. So you essentially have to kill them wherever they are. I just kind of pop range AoEs. Relatively easy stuff to kill these guys. So when you kill that big tower guy, it opens the door here. I'm just going to wait for Hailstorm to pop. Go in here. Yeah, Purify is great. Gets to run real fast, real quick. If you have rank 9, really easy in here. I'm just going to put the DB up. AoE is large enough to kill all of them. Start using my skills. He's really easy. If you saw, I just used Frenzy. And he stunned me for a second there. Alright, here we go. So I got a tier 3 Pneuma. You just click on it a couple times, it'll start absorbing. You can push spacebar once, and it'll increase the speed just by a little bit, I think. I'm not too sure, but it's similar to like digging things in a wedding, for example, or something else. So now I'll go into my inventory, and here I have an Origin of Destruction tier 3, which is actually really good for me because that one will boost my Destroyer, which is tier 2. And the rules for Pneuma is if this Origin is 1 level or equal to 1 level, or is 1 level different from your tier, you'll still get full. But if it's more than 1 level higher, you won't get the full set. So if you look at here, 33, and there's 33 here, and I'm about to get 144 points from this Pneuma Destroyer, I should be at 177, and I am at 177. So there's no nerf. That's essentially how Pneuma works. One important thing, no matter which Pneuma you're farming, always kill the boss, or always kill the mobs before you kill the boss. The main thing is that the Pneuma disappears really quickly, so if you don't grab it right away, you will lose it. That's happened to me a couple times. I wasted time either picking up a drop or killing some extra mobs at the end, and by the time I started, digging the Pneuma and I saw it channeling, the channeling stopped halfway, and that's because the Pneuma disappeared. By the way, you can see here my Pneuma count went down. This Pneuma count goes down when you capture it. So let's say you're doing this with a friend or a couple people in your faction or whatever. In that case, whichever person gets the Pneuma, their count will go down. Also, if you have 4 or 5 people digging the Pneuma at the same time, it'll be random between the amount of people that are digging it. So just to make sure, if you're farming this, I'd recommend doing it solo. Otherwise, just go ahead and go in a squad if you need help doing some higher level ones. And then, just do like twice as many runs and just say, hey, you dig it this run, I'll dig it the next run, and vice versa. But essentially, that's what Pneuma farming is. Make sure to do it. It's really easy, and it can give great stats once you start leveling up. Right now I'm getting 25 magic and physical attack. That's essentially getting like a flawless shard in my gear. But once I get to tier 3, as you can see here, 45 physical magical attack. That's pretty high. That's really getting up there. I think that's close to a perfect Sapphire Shard in a gear, at least for a wizard. I think these might be different between class, just as your stats for your War Avatar card are different between each class. I know my Sin, if my Sin had this card, it would be getting 150 physical attack, not 200. So, PWI is trying to balance between classes, which I think is really important, especially with all of this coming into play. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment on the video. Feedback's always good. And hopefully you enjoyed it and learned a lot. Thank you.